All right, so Screamfest continues. This is the fifth film we watched, and this was called Dead by Dawn. No, not Evil Dead 2, but that, of course, is what I thought of, as would you if you're a big horror fan like us. But that title definitely got me. I honestly, when I saw it in the lineup of Screamfest, I was like, is this a documentary
Mm,
on Evil Dead 2 or something?
that would
Nope,
have been
it's
cool.
just Dead by Dawn is the title. So we have a like a theater for plays, and this like theater troupe is there to put on a show, and
Hmm.
they come to like prepare for the show over a few days, and they get in the theater, and the killings begin. I mean, that's really all I can say about it. This is a Polish film, and it absolutely, without a doubt, is trying to harken back to the Giallis
Yeah.
of old. So, for those of you who don't know what Giallis are or Giallo, singular, it is an Italian slasher, essentially, from the late 60s and 70s, was when they were most prominent. And Dario Argento would probably be the biggest name that made those style of films. And this movie 100% is trying to recreate and do homages to stuff like opera, as well as stage fright. Um, so yeah, in that regard, it was cool. It
Yeah.
had some pretty gnarly kills and like gore,
Mm-hmm.
which was pretty rad.
Yeah.
Um, the one problem I think both of us had is that the opening had us kind of scratching our heads a little too much, where
Yeah.
we were like trying to play catch up. That could be a language barrier
I thought
potentially.
that too.
But yeah, I was struggling a bit in the opening. I think there was a choice that didn't make a lot of sense. All that really happens is like we start in the present and we get up to a point and it's only a few minutes in, then we go back in time 2 months, and then we jump back up to the present,
Yeah.
and it was kind of complicated to follow because we had forgotten about the opening at that point, and we didn't know where we were in the timeline, and I had to like we like thought about it, and I had to tell Kaylee, thank God we were at home and not in the theater because we can't really talk, but like it hit me, and I'm like, oh no, we're back to the characters from the beginning,
Right.
and that is what made us click and go, okay, this is what's happening. We were so fucking lost,
Yeah.
and that really kind of hurt the first maybe 20 or 30 minutes of the film, because I was sitting there like, wait, where are we now? What the fuck is going on? And I
Yeah.
hate when I feel like that.
Yeah, I do think some of it might have been a little bit of a language barrier because I also like there's some explanation like of the setup of the theater troupe, I suppose, that I was confused about.
Yeah.
Just the way that they're introduced, I was like, I don't really know who these people are, like what they're doing. The film is also really artsy too. At times, like it's fairly
One would expect,
straightforward, but
yeah.
it's got a lot of like pretty artsy stuff going on. So I don't know.
Style.
I definitely had some confusion. But I did like it overall. I like the look of the
The
killer
killer
in this.
got
I
a
thought
very
that
unique
was very
mask.
cool, and yeah, I liked it. I think it was good. The ending is pretty memorable as well. There
Yeah.
is a lot of there's even like a warning in this one as in this film at the opening that there are a lot of flashing lights and like strobe effects, and that's definitely true. There is a pretty long sequence at the end that I wasn't really able to watch because of the flashing lights, and kind of throughout there's a lot of those, but they're not like they are part of the environment and they're not too bad, but they were annoying to me a little
Yeah.
bit because I just am not a fan of flashing lights.
Yeah, the strobe effect is a bit of a cheap gimmick, in my opinion. It's supposed to disorient the viewer, and I've always noticed it to be kind of a cheap tactic.
Yeah.
that I'm not really a major fan of. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty simplistic, straightforward film in a lot of ways. As Kaylee said, they try to throw in a bunch of style, which of course makes perfect sense as this person clearly is inspired by Italian giallis, which is all about style.
Yeah.
The and convolution, right? Like that's another huge element of giallis is that you like in the end just go,
You're like,
okay,
why did they do that?
what the fuck is happening?
Who
like
was
nothing
the
makes any
actual
sense
killer?
when the
It's
killer's
like
revealed. You're like,
some
what?
florist from another town
It's-
that like
yeah.
is related, not at all.
It's always like the most convoluted shit you've ever fucking heard in your entire life, and you can't explain it to save your life. That's typical of old school Italian giallo movies. So
Yeah.
that makes, I mean, that kind of falls in line with this here. We have a pretty simplistic, straightforward slasher. Because I'm not going to say this has the style of a giallo. You know, like there's some elements that are there, like a black gloved killer. We don't. I think we might get like a shiny reflection off of a blade for a moment. There's shadow work, which is big in giallos. So it's there, but it's not like super colorful and vibrant, and you know there's not a lot of like sexuality and nudity that typically would appear in a giallo.
I would say it has its own style.
Yeah, and so I don't want to make somebody think that they're gonna watch this and expect it to be super similar to a giallo. I'm just saying that there are elements in here that are clearly inspired by Argento and the like. But it's not like Phantasma, aka Bloody Ballet, which is truly trying to like capture the feeling of the old school giallo, right? That was a film from a few years ago that was low budget and tried to nail that, and I thought nailed it, but it got really bad reviews. I loved it. I didn't know what the fuck anyone was talking about. That's the closest thing I've seen to replication of the giallos of old. But I like to still see and point out there's something ripped straight out of opera.
Yeah.
Anybody who knows the film will know exactly what that is, since it is the most iconic imagery from opera. And I was like, oh wow, they're really just straight up stealing this imagery.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely an homage.
It's an homage.
So yeah.
It's just it's hard when you're trying to replicate the master of a specific subgenre of horror.
Sure.
You're probably always going to come up a little short.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I liked it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Would I watch it again? Yes, I would watch it again. Would I buy it? I don't know. Probably, maybe. It's a cool one for like a slasher Sunday.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind watching it again.
Yeah.
Maybe trying to pay a little bit better attention in the opening, and piece it together a little more than I did and that we did when we started it, so that the ending could come together a little bit better for me. But yeah, as you said, the ending is memorable and it's got a great kill scene. It's fair, it's predictable, but regardless, I don't really care. But yeah, it's got some gnarly fucking kills in it.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, because it's also harkening back to the giallo films, there's a little nod to Fulci.
Definitely.
As well, and if you're a Fulci fan, you'll know what kind of kill that is. And it's a fucking good one. It's pretty gruesome. So,
It is really gruesome.
yeah, it's a thumbs up. It's a thumbs up for slasher fans or giallo fans, or both.
Yeah.
And
I think so.
and if you're not familiar with giallis, check out some.
Yeah.
Get out there. Watch Deep Red. Would probably actually, I would say the best place to start with a giallo would probably be Blood and Black Lace. Really start like with the roots. Watch some Bava. Watch Blood and Black Lace. Watch, Twitch of the Death Nerve. Just watch those two from Bava, and then you can make your way into Argento. Watch Deep Red. Of course, Suspiria. For some reason, you haven't seen that, but educate yourself on Italian horror. It's definitely good stuff that every horror fan should dive into at one point, just to see if it resonates with you. So, other than that, check this out when it releases. We don't have release dates currently, but we are just trying to inform you of what's to come.
Yes.
So there you go, Dead by Dawn, and cool mask.
Very cool mask.
Definitely one that I would love to see at a con in the future.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
So, all right, guys. Well, we'll see you in the comments.
Bye.
Adios.